Both the terms Ironman and solo self-found have a long history as popular challenge runs in massively multiplayer online role-playing games, or MMORPGs for short. Let's look at some of the differences in history. Here is a breakdown. Both Ironman and Solo Self-Found make it so that you are unable to gain items, currency, support, or XP off of other players, whereas in Ironman it's also a viable game mode in single-player games, or as a self-imposed rule set where one cannot reload a save after failing rolls, dying, or making choices. Some examples of this are Pokemon Nuzlocke, XCOM, or Long Live the Queen. It's been popularized in MMOs by RuneScape and similar games afterwards like Idle Clans and Brighter Shores. Looking at Solo Self-Found, this is purely in reference to multiplayer games where there is a benefit to interacting with other players. Some examples are Diablo, Path of Exile, and World of Warcraft. Both of these modes have the ability to become harder by making them hardcore. Hardcore means permanent death. That means in a multiplayer game, this character is lost or transferred to a standard or softcore account. Examples of mechanics in such games include forcing the player to accept the death of a party member due to misplays or bad luck. There's a large community of players who challenge themselves to never reload a bad outcome. A common tactic for overcoming this is to make use of all available resources like grinding XP, items, or knowing the outcomes of certain decisions. In Solo Self-Found, this mode is harder to maintain as legitimate in multiplayer games without a dedicated rule set imposed on the players. Common techniques are similar to Ironman in that you need to be prepared for any outcome while knowing everything you can leverage to strengthen yourself. Starting with the history, while Solo Self-Found is a relatively new term, there is assuredly a long history of players challenging themselves to play these multiplayer games without the help of others. The earliest found usage of the term as simply self-found on today's internet is a 2012 series of Reddit posts about Diablo 2. What was more common to be said was more often soloing or doing a single-player challenge. Ironman as a game mode could be argued to be around for as long as Solo Self-Found. In fact, Ironman used to be the standard, as most games did not have the functionality to save the game or continue where you had left off. After technology improved, developers would have included the option to play Ironman, Permanent Death, or a hardcore mode where any choices or death was permanent. Interestingly enough, if you go back even further before the advent of video games, Ironman was referenced multiple times in the 20th century. The first reference was a nickname of a famous baseball pitcher named Joe McGinnity, who was renowned for his longevity and durability, winning close to 500 games in his professional career. The nickname Ironman was given to him as he was employed with an iron foundry in the off-seasons. Later on in history, in 1975, a single-day endurance event would come to be known as an Ironman Challenge. A couple of immigrant Americans to the islands of Hawaii are given credit for the idea of a triathlon completed by each runner biking, swimming, and running for non-stop for 140.6 miles. In summary, there are many ways to challenge yourself while playing video games. There are common ways to do so, but in the end, it's up to the player to decide what is fun for them.